Good evening and welcome to News Hour. I am Ibrahim Samura. Coming up in this edition of News Hour, President Julius Maada Bio calls on the Sierra Leoneans to be steadfast and to realize change for the development of the country. Secretary General of the All People's Congress Party says the members of Parliament will not participate in parliamentary proceedings, nor will APC control municipal and district councils cooperate with the SLPP governments. And Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow reaffirms government commitment to fight against malnutrition. All these stories line up in this edition of News Hour. President Julius Maada Bio has called on Sierra Leoneans to be steadfast in their effort to realize the change of his new direction of the development for the country. The president made a call in his message to mark the 57th anniversary of Sierra Leone's independence. We bring you an excerpt of the president's message to the nation.
57th anniversary of our independence. This has been a momentous year that has taken us through the tragedy of the floods and mudslide in August 2017. But at the same time, for the hopes and aspirations of millions of Sierra Leoneans who voted for change in a new direction to develop and transform our beloved nation. Today, we have a new opportunity as a nation to collectively and individually work together to take this country forward, to develop and transform Sierra Leone that we can all be proud of. During my swearing-in on 4th April 2018 as President of the Republic, I said that my election and my new administration is the dawn of a new era to change and transform Sierra Leone. As a nation, we must resolve to use this opportunity to change and transform our beloved Sierra Leone. We have to resolve as a nation to lay the strong and credible foundation for our children and our grandchildren. This is the only way to create the conditions for a united, peaceful, confident, enterprising, dynamic, and progressive country. As we celebrate 57 years of our independence, we have to acknowledge the fact that as a nation, we are at a crossroad, and that we are faced with the stark choice between corrupt and the indisciplined business as usual, status quo, or a change in a new direction, where every Sierra Leonean is given the ladder of opportunity to climb and achieve their greatest potential. We have to ask ourselves that after 57 years of independence, what do we have to show for? As a nation, we have made great strides in laying some of the critical foundations for socio-economic and political development. Today, we can confidently say that we have now laid the foundation to consolidate our nascent democracy after holding 5 successive democratic elections that have seen the transfer of power from one civilian administration to the other. After 57 years of political independence, we are still faced with some of the most critical problems and challenges of development and social progress. At 57, we are not able to pay for our basic and essential services as a nation without depending on external development assistance. we have not provided effective political and economic management of the state and our natural resources for the benefit of all Sierra Leoneans. We are still classified as one of the poorest countries and the most corrupt country in the world. At 57, Sierra Leone has changed from the international recognition as the Athens of West Africa to a country where 3 in every 5 Sierra Leoneans cannot read and write. At 57, we are today a divided nation along ethnic, regional, and sectional lines, with very negative impact on the professionalism and functioning of our state governing institutions. These depressing social and development challenges have to change. I have been given the mandate to change and transform this country, and I will provide the disciplined leadership needed to take this country forward. I have therefore directed that, given the current economic and financial crisis that we have inherited, there should be no budgetary allocation from the Ministry of Finance to fund independence celebration activities across the country. My government will only fund future independence celebration across the country when, as a nation, we are able to pay for critical and basic services without relying on any external development aid. My government will only approve future funding for independence celebration activities when our domestic revenue collection make up 20% of our gross domestic product. As a government, we are determined to lay the solid foundation for change and transformation in Sierra Leone. Already, the signs and achievements of our new direction revolution is visible everywhere. The Executive Order Number 1, issued on 9th April 2018 on domestic revenue mobilization, and Executive Order Number 2, issued on 25th April 2018 on fiscal control measures, have made it possible for my new administration to pay salaries for the first time without using bank overdraft facility. These domestic revenue mobilization efforts by my new administration clearly shows that change is possible in this country. The people of this country have voted for change. We all want change, but we must also be prepared to work for change and accept the challenges that change will bring. This is the price that we have to pay as a nation to change and transform our beloved Sierra Leone. Expectations are high, and rightly so. The people want to see immediate and visible changes in their lives. We can only achieve change and transformation in Sierra Leone today if we work together to build national cohesion and end the culture of indiscipline, lawlessness, and corruption. We want to attract and tap into the best brains and expertise that this country has to offer to drive our new direction: inclusive development, inclusive economic growth, inclusive politics, and inclusive governance programs. This is the only way to develop and transform Sierra Leone. And together we can, and we will make this possible. My government recognizes and appreciates the important contribution made by our development partners. And I do call on them to join us and support our new direction, policies, and programs to change and transform Sierra Leone into a country that will no longer be dependent on aid. Congratulations on our 57th independence anniversary. I wish you all a happy and memorable 57th anniversary day. God bless the people.
President Julius Maada Bio calling on Scalonians to be steadfast in their efforts to realize the change of his new direction for the development of the country during his message to the nation to mark the country's 57th independence anniversary. You are watching News Hour coming to you live from the Salon Broadcasting Corporation in Freetown. President Julius Maada Bio has told police officers at Kington Barracks that they should deliver the services needed by the public. The president made this urge while addressing some senior officers and staff of the Salon Police. Hawa Mosiri reports.
The Force for Good has contributed tremendously in achievement of peace, maintaining law and order in the country, which they had demonstrated in almost all their international peacekeeping missions abroad. The president described their task as the most difficult one. The president said if order is to be achieved in the country, the police have a lot to offer to the nation, stressing that if more investments, businesses and investors are to be reflective of the daily reality, the police should not be seen in front of those corrupt activities. He said despite the fact that they want an increment in salaries, more vehicles, the state can only deliver that when they are in place to ensure corruption is eliminated, security and rule of law on due processes are followed. President Bio highlighted the nation can only prosper when there is order, which as per constitution it is the police that are in the front of ensuring law and order are maintained for good governance, security, peace and development.
Waiting at Camp for Kando today, now for me, I know say, women are one of the most important agents of change, of order in this country. When I fail, when I serve as a force, and when I fail, we all. We all want to go before. We want to increase the salary of policemen. We want to say, when I get vehicles and everything we need. But that being said, the state where they take care of all of their obligations they need, also get the means to able to keep up with their obligation there. The state not going to increase their salary or buy uniform and other equipment so we need to perform their duty if the state not get the means. So we get an important role for play to make the state get what it forget and also take care of them. Nobody can invest in this country if you still say we corrupt and that the police they did before that corruption. Nobody can invest in this country if order not there. If anybody can knock in company, burn in company house, or disturb in peace, and the police not go intervene and take the appropriate line of action. Waiting at the try for say is this: the nation will prosper when there is order. Whether they before that, now the police them. So not a small task we get, although the salary will not say small, but to narrow very important.
The Inspector General of Police, Dr. Richard Moigbe, and his team congratulated the President and his Vice, who is the Chairman of Police Council, on their victory. The Inspector General of Police pledged their loyalty to diligently service his government, by extension the country. He noted that they will continue to be non-partisan, fair, impartial and professional in the discharge of their duties as police.
Let me, on behalf of the Sierra Leone Police, start by congratulating His Excellency the President for assuming the position of President of our beloved great country, and welcome him and his entourage to the Kington Police Field. I want, on behalf of the Sierra Leone Police, to pledge our unflinching loyalty to you as a police organization, and also pledge that we will diligently serve the government of the day and serve you as our father of the nation. Being His Excellency the President, we pledge our total commitment in that respect. We also pledge that we will continue to be non-partisan, fair, impartial, and professional in the discharge of our duties as police service at all times.
Also at State House, the Sierra Leone Labour Congress Union, former Vice President of Sierra Leone, Solomon Berra, and the Liberian Ambassador to Sierra Leone paid courtesy call on President Bio. The Sierra Leone Labour Congress, headed by the President, congratulated President Julius Bio on his victory and also briefed him about the forthcoming International Labour Day. It is now a tradition that every year Sierra Leone joins other countries to celebrate the day with the three arms of industrial sector. He informed President Bio that last year NASIT took the lead in the celebration, but working closely with CARE to take the lead this year because of the theme, which is Ending Global Violence of Sustainable Development.
The main focus for today is the May Day celebration. It is now a tradition that during May Day we celebrate with the three arms in the industrial relation sector. The government, the lead comes from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, the Sierra Leone Employers Federation, which the leads come from the Executive Secretary of the Employers Federation, and the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. We also partner with other interested people who have dealings to do with the celebration when May Day approach.
President Bio thanked them for their great role in development, as he has said to the nation that he is going to lead with a new direction and make sure that Sierra Leone succeeds as a nation and that the people have a role to play.
What I want to establish here today is the fact that you have accepted and acknowledged the fact that you are partners in governance. You play a critical role. I have said to this nation, I am going to lead in a new direction. I am going to make sure that we succeed as a nation, as a people, together, and which means you have a part to play in that. I can't do it alone. I cannot succeed without everybody in this country. You are a major player, a key actor in the process of governance, and therefore this is the best opportunity for me to establish dialogue. With dialogue, we can really resolve a lot of issues. It is when we keep away, when we don't talk, that issues develop and become difficult for us to move on as a nation.
Former Vice President Solomon Berra and the Liberian Ambassador to Sierra Leone, Madam Musu Jatu Ruli, also paid a courtesy call on President Bio, where they congratulated him on his victory. And this is what Solomon Berra had to say to President Bio.
Your Excellency, you do not know my feeling with these boundaries over here. I can't express it. He and I contested to 2005.
Yes, 2005.
Then, of course, 2012. There were a number of things.
Okay.
But in my house, in the parlor, that I resolved. I really thought he was quite brave. I wanted to go into it again. I didn't have the courage, as you know. But he stood there, say I will try. Thank God. God has vindicated you. We don't pray to God for nothing. We pray to God because we believe in Him. He has shown that He has the power to do things, but at His own right time.
The All People's Congress Party members of Parliament will not participate in parliamentary proceedings and APC-controlled municipal and district councils now cooperate with the SLPP government. This stance was disclosed by the APC Secretary General, Ambassador Dr. Halaji Usman Fode Yansone, at the party's headquarters in Freetown. This is how the APC Secretary General broke the news to party supporters.
On the direction of the leadership of the APC members of parliament will immediately begin to meet with their constituents to apprise them of this deplorable state of affairs, including the effort to rob them of their vote, and to brief their constituents also on the steps the party is taking to protect the votes of the citizens, protect the rule of law, protect the sacred independence of parliament, and uphold the principles of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, APC MPs will not participate in parliamentary proceedings, and APC MPs will not participate in parliamentary proceedings, and APC-controlled municipals and districts, 10 of them, have been advised not to cooperate with the SLPP government. The council, 10 of the APC council will not cooperate with the SLPP government until such time as the 5th session of Parliament is properly and constitutionally established. The duly elected councils are also advised not to cooperate with the SLPP government until such time as the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic is properly and constitutionally established. The APC welcomes the statement from the ECOWAS Parliament expressing concern about the worrying developments in quotation in the chamber of the Sierra Leone Parliament and their commitment to undertake a fact-finding mission to the country. ECOWAS is coming. The APC calls on the rest of the international community, including the moral guarantors of the recent election, to condemn these unconstitutional activities and to strongly urge the SLPP to restore the constitutionality of Parliament. The APC also calls on the reasonable voices within the SLPP, especially some of those who enjoy superior parliamentary privileges under the APC government of President Anesbai Koroma, to help restrain the excesses of their more bellicose, belligerent colleagues in the new SLPP government. The APC reminds President Bio that as President of Sierra Leone, President of all of Sierra Leone, the new direction should be about establishing high levels of good governance and not seeking to thwart the will of the people who voted for him while voting for the APC parliamentarians is denying the privilege. All Sierra Leoneans and friends of Sierra Leone are asked to recall the report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which spoke of major consistent constitutional breaches, judicial malpractices and human rights abuses, all of which contributed to the advent of the civil conflict. Since April 4, 2018, when President Bio took the oath of office, we have seen all of the aforementioned manifested with a loud silence from the fountain of honor, while the hitherto vociferous civil society looks on. Let us all learn the lessons of yesterday as we forge the future of our nation.
APC Secretary General Ambassador Dr. Halaji Usman Fode Yansone. The chairman and returning officer of the National Electoral Commission, Umfa Ali Conte, has presented a certificate of honor to President Julius Maada Bio. Homosire reports.
Presenting the certificate on behalf of the Commission, Chairman National Electoral Commission Umfa Ali Conte congratulated President Bio on his victory. He said that the presentation of certificates after the polls to President is in fulfillment of a legal provision that mandates the Commission to honor any newly elected President. Umfa Ali Conte further stated that, as a Commission, they believed that just concluded elections were conducted with the highest level of fairness and credibility in line with the 1991 Constitution and the 2012 Public Elections Act and other related laws of the land. The National Returning Officer ended up by calling on President Julius Maada Bio to help review the conditions of service for staff of the Commission, which he described as unfavorable.
We are here, Your Excellency, as the SP has said, to actually present to you this certificate. This is as per law. This is probably the last legal thing which we have to do. After the poll, the law says we present to you this certificate. But before the presentation, Your Excellency, may I take the opportunity on behalf of the Commission and our legal retainers, our Exec Secretary, to actually congratulate you and your team for your victory in the elections. We believe, beyond all reasonable doubt, and I repeat, we believe beyond all reasonable doubt, there are elections that are credible. The conditions of service of our staff. And honestly, the job we're doing is really for the state. It's not an enviable job. We work in the elections office, as we said, for most times. It's a 24-hour job, many years. There is need for us to actually do something for the staff, in terms of the conditions.
President Bio was appreciative of the commissions for conducting a very difficult but successful election with high level of professionalism. The president said that, as an independent institution, the commission has helped in strengthening the country's democratic values and called on the commission to uphold such values. President Bio pledged his government support to NEC to be a self-reliant institution that will continue to maintain its neutrality, fairness and professionalism in the dispensation of its duties.
I want to say thank you for being a national institution that has been able to take us through these processes at various times in our history, and I want you to know that you play a very, very vital role in keeping the democracy on track, the trajectory of democracy on track, and we will look at the terms and conditions of service of the staff and see what we can do to better the situation. But I think with all the pressure, you were able to pull this off. We have a result that is credible in the eyes of our nation and also, for the international observers that came. We will work to better the process, to make it more acceptable, standardize the procedures so that in future everybody knows what pertains. That is what we should try to do.
Commissioner of Western Area, Miata French, also updated the president about different activities regarding past elections, and the commission has been on the process for over 2 years ago. The post-elections program will start with a retreat to look at different issues like training and a legal framework of the commission. A representative of the legal affairs team of the National Electoral Commission, Brian Cummins, briefed President Julius Maada Bio that she is working with a formidable legal team to represent the National Electoral Commission. She noted that it has been several legal battles during the elections and even during post-elections. In another development, the regional director of the United Nations World Food Programme, Abdou Dieng paid a courtesy call on President Bio to congratulate him on his victory and that he is in Sierra Leone to review the school feeding program and the Sustainable Development Goal 2, dealing with hunger. The regional director of the United Nations World Food Programme spoke about the country review program that is underway and that government will look at the way forward. He also assured the president of a well-organized good feeding program that his office will be embarking on, and food security, as those programs have been a successful story in other West African countries.
I would first like to, on behalf of the World Food Programme, congratulate you for your election, which is highly appreciated all over the world. I wanted to say that before we start. In Sierra Leone, we've been here many years. We're here and we will continue to be here as it will be required. And I would like to tell you that we stand ready to work with you and your people on food security. We are working with your government and your people on one very important issue, which is the SDG number 2, which is ending hunger. This we do in all the country where we're working. And I think there is a process going on in the country that we call a Zero Hunger Review, which is a baseline to look at where the country is in terms of food security and what are the challenges, so that by 2030, which is what you as a leader set as a deadline to eliminate hunger in the world.
Julius Maada Bio commended the regional director for his intervention and good plans for the country, as food security and free education are the main agendas of his New Direction Manifesto. He will make sure that the government will work closely with the World Food Programme.
As partners, we've been working for a very long time, and I want to express our country's gratitude for your interventions and also the role you've played in keeping our country going. Food security is a very important part of our program. I totally believe that no country can develop or go forward in the development process if there's no food security. That is the beginning of the development process. We very much want to engage with you on that through the country director to see what further help, especially when it comes to technical aid. We want to be food self-sufficient as quickly as possible, and we want to be able to also export as a way to bolster our revenue intake. And we've had a few faulty beginnings, wrong starts, and we want to be able to really sit down and holistically plan towards that.
And the Lebanese High Commissioner to Sierra Leone also paid courtesy call on President Bio to congratulate him on his victory. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Mosibe reporting.
Parliament has elected Honorable Dr. Abbas Bundu of the Sierra Leone People's Party as Speaker and Honorable Singapore Thomas as Deputy Speaker of the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic. They were elected on Wednesday, 25th of April 2018, after the opposition APC party MPs were either forcefully moved or walked out of the well of Parliament. Nasruddin Kroma filing these reports.
I, Abbas Cherna Bundu, do hereby, in the name of Allah, swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Honorable Dr. Abbas Cherna Bundu is now the Speaker of Parliament, polling 100% of valid vote cast by the honorable members of Parliament who voted after taking oath of office. The new Speaker and his deputy received showers of felicitation from the MPs on their victory. Among MPs who had inspirational messages for the new Speaker was Honorable Veronica Kadisise.
You will live to the expectation of the people of the Sierra country. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as you can see on the both eyes, there are 75% of new MPs. And this is a learning place. You can come with your doctorate or whatever, but here is the place of learning.
Before the commencement of the business of the House, MPs designate of the main opposition party, the APC, created a chaotic scene as a demonstration of dissatisfaction over injunction slammed on some of their members. The court injunction barred the affected MPs designate from taking the oath of office and subsequently from participating in the election of the Speaker, which was the prime item on the day's sitting agenda. The incident led to adjournment of the sitting for an hour. The clerk efforts to restore order proved futile. The police were asked in. Subsequently, the seats of the APC MPs elect were left vacant. Calm was restored, but without the main opposition party. The new Speaker and his deputy have now been given the mandate to superintend the country's legislature. Some observers of the day's event noted that the leadership has got task of uniting the House for fruitful proceedings for democratic governance. SLBC News, Nasiruddin Koroma.
Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow has reaffirmed government's commitment to the scaling of nutrition in the fight against malnutrition. He was speaking via the Scaling Up Nutrition Coordination meeting at his Tower Hill office in Freetown. Thomas Neal now reports.
The Scaling Up Nutrition Coordination meeting is a constructive dialogue between multiple stakeholders from donors, UN agencies, civil society platform, private sector and government-line ministries as an encouragement to align with national nutrition plans. Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow said government will continue to take the lead in the fight against hunger and malnutrition in all its forms by providing support to the Secretariat. He said the role of coordination to end hunger and malnutrition must be strongly emphasized since the Secretariat has multi-sectoral partners whose work should be coordinated to avoid duplication of efforts and wastage of resources. Dr. Julde Jallow called on all network partners of the Scaling Up Nutrition Coordination to work together to end hunger and malnutrition so as to contribute to the economic and social development of the nation.
I also want to say that scaling up nutrition is vital to the country's prospect to fight hunger and malnutrition. And the government will take this very seriously. We are going to take this very seriously and we'll do all in our power. We'll have the political will to support the work of the network and more importantly to galvanize additional initiatives to push through the work we are doing. Like some of our colleagues have already highlighted, they underline the need for coordination. Coordination is vital. For me, it is central to what we are going to do. We will have good initiatives, but when you have a wrong methodology, it undermines your capacity to put those good initiatives into work. Because the methodology is very much important. So coordination is vital to our success. Because like the ambassador said, coordination is vital to enhancing coherence among our work. It is vital to maximizing resources and also to avoid duplication. It's a key challenge.
The UNICEF country representative, Hamid El-Bash Ibrahim, described nutrition as a cornerstone in the progress and development of any country, adding that agencies under the UN network are supporting the government through different ministries in implementing nutrition-related programs from treatment of acute malnutrition to modernization of agricultural technologies. Catherine Campbell of Irish Aid said our organization will continue to support the Secretariat so that hunger and malnutrition will be a thing of the past. She stressed that through collaboration with government, they remain committed to the Sustainable Development Goal of ending hunger and promoting sustainable agriculture by 2030. The coordinator Scaling Up Nutrition, Dr. Mohamed Fou, highlighted key events undertaken in 2017 including annual assessment of the 4 song processes, organize a national nutrition fair in Bo City, and national strategy to prevent and control anemia. For News Hour in Freetown, Thomas Neal reporting.
The Ministry of Youth Affairs, in collaboration with partners, has ended a 5-day National Youth Development Week celebration on the theme Youth Building Peace to Achieve the Demographic Dividend. Youth across the country were parts of the celebrations and closing ceremony, which was held at the St. Anthony's Parish Hall, Sykes Street in Freetown. Esther Marie Samura reports.
The National Youth Development Week celebration, organized by the Ministry of Youth Affairs, started on Saturday, 21st of April 2018, which was climaxed with a skit performance, talent explosion, and statements from different speakers, including the keynote address from the Minister of Information and Communications designate Mohamed Soare. The National Youth Commissioner, Anthony Kuma, in his closing statement said the Youth Week celebration is set aside to address problems affecting youth in the country.
As the final day in the annual designated National Youth Week, as contained in the National Youth Policy, the 2014 National Youth Policy of Sierra Leone, to observe this week to highlight issues not only affecting young people, but issues that young people want to highlight in the sense that demonstrating the power and potential of our young people countrywide. We know this is a challenging period because it's a transition period, and as such, we had agreed in an earlier meeting with the Permanent Secretary and the Ministry that we will have a low-key celebration this year. But to mark the day, as today actually is the end of the 1 week, which was set in such a way that it precedes the independence celebration.
In his keynote address, Minister of Information and Communication designate Mohamed Soare said youth are useful people in society and gave a rundown of Sierra Leone's youthful population.
We believe, like previous speakers before me have said, we have about 38-39% of the population being youth. 63% of those are very active. They are guys who should go out there and deliver for our country. Sadly enough, 67% of that population do not have jobs. So many see it as a tremor. A few years back, it was they were manifesting signs of a crisis. It is gradually becoming a crisis.
According to him, his government will implement competitive technical skills and will put more investment on the youth of Sierra Leone.
Then our presidential candidate in 2007, Mr. Solomon Merewa, when he addressed the Development Partners Committee meeting at one of the hotels in Freetown, I really went there to represent my former boss, now late. He did say at that meeting, gentlemen, all of us seated in this room can pass for government ministers. The situation of the youth is getting desperate. And if we don't do something about it, and do it now, we might end up being strangled by our neckties. That's why His Excellency, retired Brigadier General Smada is retired, or not tired, sees the youth problem as a national security threat. He sees it as a very serious crisis for this country because you have all the energy, you have the vigor, you have the vim, you have the vitality, and all the resilience that you can put into making this country forward. We cannot leave your situation unattended. As a result of that, in a new direction, we have crafted carefully and very deliberate policies to speak to the key and critical challenges facing young people.
Statements were made by representatives from the ministry's partners who spoke about the importance of young people in the country. Esther Marie Samura, SLBC TV.
Queen Elizabeth II was born Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary on the 22nd April 1926 in London to Princess Albert Duke of York. On a Thursday, 26th April, the British High Commission in Sierra Leone celebrates her 92nd birthday at its residence in Freetown. Lieutenant John Rose Kunima Stevens.
Celebrating the Queen's birthday has been a tradition in the United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II was born in London as the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York, later King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, and she was educated privately at home. In honor of her birthday, people from different walks of life were invited at the residence of the British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Guy Warrington. Addressing the guests, Guy Warrington says, "The United Kingdom has been Sierra Leone's partner and friend for a very long time," noting that it has been a fruitful relationship wherein they have played a central role in bringing the civil war to an end and helped in peace building. Mr. Warrington informed the gathering that they are here as a strong partner to support Sierra Leone's future plans for long-term development, as they are committed to getting more British companies to come and invest in Sierra Leone.
The Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust is providing life-changing eye treatment to many thousands through the generosity and cooperation of the member nations. That cooperation within the Commonwealth will also be reflected in the bilateral relationship here. I probably don't need to say, but I will anyway, that the UK has been Sierra Leone's partner and friend for a very long time, and it has been a long and fruitful partnership. We played a central role in bringing the civil war to an end and helping build peace. The UK contributed £427 million to the fight against Ebola, deploying around 2,000 military and civilian personnel to support the government's response. Since then, we've continued that support through the recovery period, helping Sierra Leone to prosper peacefully and improve the lives of all of its citizens. And we're now here as a strong and determined partner to support the new government in its plans for long-term development. The nature and extent of that support will follow from the level of ambition and commitment to reform of the new government, by its appetite for change and improvement, and its ability to take some of the really tough decisions necessary to deliver this. We have been listening, we have heard the government's messages on education, and in particular we are delighted to hear His Excellency Madabio making a commitment at Chobham in London to provide education for all children for a period of 12 years. But delivering on such bold promises will not be easy. Affordability will be the key consideration, and in that context, we'll be happy, with other international partners, to support government leadership in improving revenue collection and improving government finance.
Chairman, Governance Transitional Team, Professor David T. Francis, had this to say at the reception.
As a country, Sierra Leone joins the people of the United Kingdom in celebrating Her Majesty's birthday in recognition of her exemplary qualities in promoting the interests of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth family. We want to use this opportunity to build on, deepen and advance our long-standing relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, President Bio has made free quality education the flagship program of his new administration. At the just concluded Commonwealth Summit of Heads of Government in London, President Bio made a declaration and commitment to action to provide 12 years of education for disadvantaged girls from 2018 to 2030. The new administration of President Bio looks forward to working with the UK government to take forward our education for development priority policy. Mr. High Commissioner, we are humbled and grateful for your reminder that Sierra Leone is the highest per capita recipient of the UK development assistance in the world. We will therefore not hesitate, and make no mistake, we will not hesitate to engage with your government to support the implementation of our education for development plan. And in fact, our audacious vision is to increase our domestic revenue so that we are able to pay for our essential basic services and our free quality education program.
Now to entertainment news. Modu Conte, popularly known as Modi, is out with a new video, and a Sierra Leonean rapper known as Speedo is in the country to do a performance. For more on this, let's now join our entertainment desk.
Number one. Sierra Leonean entertainment industry is slowly growing as a young musician and making headway in the field of music. One such young talent is Modu Conte, popularly known as C-Mod, who just launched a new brand music video. C-Mod was born in Port Loko and grew up in Freetown. She attended the Ahmadiyya Muslim primary and secondary school and later studied IT, hardware and software. C-Mod started as a disc jockey way back selling audio songs.
We start DJ and cassette. From there, we can't believe we record one CD 20,000. Yes, start the well. It was the 10 when we built cassette, and the 10 DJ began work from there.
C-Mod later came into the singing business proper when he formed a group called Positive to Angels. Modu later separated with his friends and went solo on. As passionate singer, he went to a studio and recorded a song, Come Closer, featuring Black Snoop and Augustine GT. C-Mod recently launched a single, and according to him, it was a success. The video clip is out now, and he believes this music video will expose him to lovers of Sierra Leone music. And he had this to say to his fans.
Well, we found a word to the fans and just therefore tell them, say, as I don't start with the good thing, we all appreciate. I will continue to move higher. I will give them the confidence I don't calm down. No matter the situation, I'll keep the fire burning until I reach the peak way and the plan for which. I wanna be the one so close to you. I wanna be the one care for you.
Speedo the one by the talk of the town. Famous. Dumb. What?
Saika Machenda is a young Sierra Leonean rapper based in Liberia. Sa is popularly known as Speedo in the music arena. Sa was born in Kono and attended Koidu Secondary School and sat his West African examination in 2012 and later went to Liberia and Ghana. Speedo said he started doing music at the tender age of 12 in Kono, where he was crowned as the best rapper.
Yeah, I was doing music, and I started doing music at the age of 12. You know, in 2012 I won my first certificate in Kono as one of the best.
Speedo said his career in music started in Liberia, Ghana and Nigeria, but presently in Liberia he is considered as one of the best in the whole country. Speedo has left Sierra Leone for the past 8 years now, and according to him, he was very impressed with what he saw in the country so far.
I'm impressed because I see in Sierra Leone, you know, look different. You know, way back, the way I used to see things, you know, it's very different now. Like the entertainment game, I can say, you know, everything improved.
So you're not gonna get no game. No. Now they want me to be a loser from the beginning. Strike of the enemies that they can follow me, follow me, calling me Speedo the barbarian, proud of me that you can know me.
Speedo said he came to Sierra Leone because he really wants his fellow Sierra Leonean to know more about him, and also trying to promote his music video like Gimme That Thing, Free Rapper and Controller.
Let's go. Mommy feel hold you like controller, but I wanna use you like a roller coaster. But I go hold you like controller.
Speedo said he is impressed with Sierra Leonean artists, but believes that there should be more upgrading in some of the songs being produced in the country.
The if you take a look at the hip hop, the hip hop category in Sierra Leone, they are doing good. But like, I'm listening to other people out there. Like the hip hop game here, the way of the songs, the instrumental, I think we need small juice in. From like, if you listen to my hip hop songs, different from Sierra Leone hip hop.
Speedo is open up to collaborate with any Sierra Leonean artists and believes that with such collaboration, Sierra Leone music can reach to the top. He said he already has some musician in mind to work with and asked his fans to support him in his career. Before giving his final word to his fans, he gave an a cappella.
This is your rapper, Speedo the rapper, they talk all the time, you know what I'm saying? They want me to be you, do something from the beginning, so the enemies that they can follow me, call me Speedo, they'll be on, now you cannot be, they could be the person gonna be fucking, they say they give me so, but I put on my energy. You already know. My final word, I got plenty of things to say, but like, I just want for everybody to come out to support Sierra Leone, because I'm here, to give my own support to loving Sierra Leone music. You know what I'm saying? For now, I do Sierra Leone Liberian music, so keep following me. If you're a follower, you love entertainment, so just keep following me, Speedo.
You might put you look everything you wanna turn it. Ready for the show? Okay, let's go, not pretending. Give it the way you want it, not number 9 but 10. Yeah. Woman, if you hold you like.
Now to end the news, the main point again. The President Julius Maada Bio has called on Sierra Leoneans to be steadfast to realize change for the development of the country. Secretary General of the All People's Congress Party has disclosed that the members of parliament will not participate in parliamentary proceedings, nor will APC-controlled municipals and district council cooperate with the SLPP government. And Vice President Dr. Mohamed Juldo Jallo has assured government's commitment to fight against malnutrition in the country. That's all in this edition of News Hour. On behalf of my news editor Ibrahim Mansari, I am Ibrahim Samoa. Thanks for your company. For more information about our programs, do send us your comments to SLBC. Viewers, just after the news, we can now join Rose Kunima Stevens with Make Your Points. Happy Independence to all Sierra Leoneans. Have a night's rest. Good night.